everybody, and welcome back to another episode of our show where we're going to be talking about all of the people that are shaping the future of technology. That's Michael Frankel. I'm Glenn Hausman. Michael, so great to see you, my friend.
Good to be back, my friend. We got a good one today.
Oh, yeah, we certainly do have a good one today. And one of the cool things, Michael, that I love is we had a great time in our first one talking to Lee Pillsbury. Now, that is a gentleman that I didn't really know. I never really have known. You've had the opportunity to get to know him over a number of years. But for me, it's almost kind of looking from the outside and the inside. But this guest today is a little bit different. This guest today is somebody who you go all the way back with. I seem to have known forever. And it kind of reminds me of when you get into our careers, you have that kind of starting class and stuff like that. Today's guest is kind of like that for you, right?
Raj Trivedi, Glenn, and I go back more than 25 years. We started in neighboring offices in Parsippany, New Jersey, working for a company called HFS Incorporated, which became a company called Sendant, which became what now is known today as Wyndham. I was the PR manager for Howard Johnson. I go Hojo in 19, I can't really say, but a long time ago. Raj was the operations.
You blew it when you said you've known him 25 plus years, right?
A long time. Raj was the operations manager. We had a great time then. We've known each other through step ladders in our career all the way to the present, and it's going to be a real treat to talk to him today.
It sure is. I want you to tell us what his last job is, what he's currently doing here, but you know, the difference is astounding between what he's achieved and how you're doing a third-rate podcast with me. So I don't know, I don't know what happened to you over there.
You know, Glenn, some people succeed and some are just good looking. And,
No,
all right.
God, you are the latter.
Raj, has done well. Raj, over these 25 years, was in operations and franchising at Howard Johnson, at HFS, at Sending Corporation. He moved over to start the franchising program at La Quinta at a time when La Quinta was just a few hundred hotels, none of them franchised, all company owned. Enter Raj Trivedi, and suddenly 10, 12 years later, 15 maybe, La Quinta has 900 franchised hotels. It's the talk of the industry in terms of franchising. Raj rises to the level of CEO, where he retired from the corporate world to start his own capital firm, TST Capital, where he's the founder and chairman, and now is doing a lot of investing in real estate and the stuff he's accustomed to doing, but also in innovation and technology. And that's what we're here to talk to him about today.
Yeah, so let's bring him in. Raj Trivedi, great to see you, our friend.
Good-looking guy has just entered the building.
Yeah, thanks for reminding us.
If only you knew what we were just talking about. If only you knew. Oh my God. Separated at birth, me and Mr. Trivedi. All right.
It looks like it. I hope I don't get confused who is who as we go through this conversation. Raj, so great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I think the natural place for us to start is you've been successful. You could do anything. Why are you focusing, amongst other things, on investing in technology that will change the future of hospitality?
I think not just hospitality, our lives are going to become technology. We are going to be driven by technology, and our industry has much, much greater opportunity of evolving, adopting, and benefiting from technology than quite a lot of other industry. And in fact, household, a lot of the other things that I mentioned are leaps and bounds ahead of where hospitality technology is. So it is not only growing, but a place where you have tremendous opportunities. And so obviously, sooner or later, we're going to come to a conclusion that it is not just a real estate business, but it is a real estate and technology business. So I feel there are endless opportunities for hospitality to grow technology.
Michael?
It's a really great point, Raj. I mean, in a way, you could say that any business is a technology business, but we're still the hotel industry, right? Talk to us about some areas specifically in hotels, hotel operations, where technology is critically important these days.
I think technology is critically important in every aspect of hotel operations. In fact, if you look at From the time you look into buying or building a hotel, collecting demographics, to selecting location, to identifying the brand, to identifying amenities, facilities, today's day and age with reviews and technology, what you have available in front of you can allow you to make the right decision. Once you have passed that journey and you truly become a hotel operator or an owner, at that point in time, you can have technology that can help you in creating efficiencies in not only operation, but the financial models. Efficiency in operations, one of the biggest challenges we have today is labor. How technology can provide labor that can be implemented and grow guest satisfaction, in my opinion, because generationally the expectations of guests at coming to the property has changed so much. You can have technology that can help back at the house. You can have technology that can continue to provide feedback while guests are staying with you with the guest experience. You can have technology that can allow the guests to come check in and be a part of your hotel prior to they come. My vision is this, that sooner or later we're going to reach a point in technology that as somebody walks into your door, you automatically know who he or she is. You have their information by facial recognition. You will provide them all they need, and all they have to do is just simply put their phone or I look at something, and that opens the door for them, and they know where they're going through their mobile device. So I think there is a great level of opportunity of technology incorporation in all facets of hotel industry.
So I think what you're really talking about is a wholesale reset of how we think about every aspect of the hotel industry, from from the getting into the brain of the guest, from when they're choosing to go away for whatever their purpose is, all the way through their arrival, their stay, and as they exit. So Raj, what area of all of this is much interest to you as an investor thinking about the future of hospitality technology?
You ask a great question, Glenn. I tell you what, as I see it, and going forward into the future, hotel owners choose a brand, and they choose a brand because they can have one-stop shop to take care of all of the needs that branding can provide. And why am I giving that example to you? Because I also see that going forward in technology also, hotel owners and brand would like to be with a company that can take care of all technology rather than
Yes.
dealing with various group of owners or various group of technology company
Mhm.
and managing 15, 20, 30 vendors. It's going to become more and more challenging. So as I see it, someone that can consolidate and create a company that can offer technology need from soup to nut for
Mhm.
all of the properties that are
Right.
coming in is going to become a end winner in this entire configuration.
Right. Michael?
Yeah. So, Raj, let's take that apart a little bit. You spoke about operations, you spoke about guest experience. Give us a little bit of insight into some of the companies you're seeing, maybe even some of the companies you're investing in that tackle those challenges and how they're moving the industry ahead.
Well, obviously, as I see it, the first and most important part is prior to guest arrival.
Mhm.
You want to, one of the things that our industry have not been successfully provide to the guest is to take that angst away, anxiety away from them before they come to the hotel, where they know they have been checked in, where they know they have their room, where they know they have, what type of room they have, where is it located, and all of the payment parts taken care of. So one of the biggest worry gets taken away because ultimately you are providing temporary housing for someone that come and stay with you for a day or 2 or 3 days and they're away from their home. So Verdi is the company, what we call virtual concierge, that
Right.
provides you technology into this facet. Not, it also provides you technology and support to franchisees
Mhm.
or the owners. They can take care of ID verification. They can take care of authentication of the guests. They can take care of payments through
Right.
this technology. And it actually also help you in reducing the labor cost. Not that we want to ever walk away from hospitality. I am never saying that do not have someone at the desk. One
No,
day,
Raj, you are not saying that. What I know you are saying, Raj Trivedi, is that we've got to get rid of the jobs that don't have that customer interactions, the ones that aren't making a real definitive difference, and making sure then we invest those dollars into the people where technology can't supplement it, right?
amen. I tell you what, there is a false sense of security that by having a front desk person, we are hospitable.
Right.
When a front desk person is constantly staring at the computer while trying to
I was just
check you
about to
in,
say, they just look down and
pretty
check
much,
out
and they are
cloud.
giving you simply a 1 or 2 seconds eye contact, not knowing, not being able to see your body language, not building relationship, not understanding why you're there.
Right.
If we have technology where you can take the front desk away from behind the desk and they become the concierge,
Right.
and actually have one-on-one conversation, to me that will build more personal rapport.
Yeah.
And that's how technology can help you take it to the next step. The second level of technology that I feel, some of the things we do today is somewhat antiquated. That if you are going to ask guests about their experience 4 days after they left your hotel,
Right.
what's the point in it? I mean, you know, if
Yeah.
the guest is not satisfied at that point in time, uh, unfortunately, hotel already has lost the benefit of their
That's
stay.
right.
They are not going to come back to you. I think second thing, we never gave someone an opportunity to correct their stay and make it you know, value
Right.
point of view worthwhile for them. So there's a need of a technology that can allow you to not only interact and allow guests to rate your stay while they are staying with you, and what can you do to enhance their experience. That's the technology that I also feel. Now, on the flip side of it, earlier I talked to you about how front desk person is constantly staring at the screen,
Mhm.
because today's technology in property management systems is so you know, it requires so much that checking in a guest is
That's right.
like opening up a bank account, or even tougher than that. I mean, so
Yeah.
many fields to
I
fill
hear
in and
you.
all those
Dude, I
things.
was at a hotel the other day. I had to show my birth certificate and 3 mortgage statements. It was really excessive.
I'm
Well,
glad you.
and honestly, Raj, I mean, the PMS was set up as a cash register, right? I mean, that's what it was originally
That's
intended
right.
to be. And now it's this sort of big, bulky animal that, as you say, just kind of sits in the middle, blocking up the process, right?
I have a feeling that when the original property management system were designed, they were designed by two group of people, bankers and lawyers.
Yeah.
Right. But Raj, they were also
You can
created.
speak to that, Raj. I don't need those people as my enemies. Yeah.
But
my,
Raj,
my point to
yeah,
you is, go ahead, Glenn. I'm
I
sorry.
was gonna say that was just, but it was a different era, right? Nobody was really thinking about or understood what that first short step was going to be in the overall evolution of technology over the decades. So while that might have been an incredible solution then, it was such an incredible solution. It was forced to become something it could never be. And I think that's kind of where we are today. People understand that now that we have such great internet and we can connect with the cloud, that this is the opportunity to reinvent every mechanism that we utilize to be successful hoteliers. And that's why you're, I think, in the middle of it.
I think simplifying for the guest,
Yep.
check-in experience or experience of their stay,
Right.
simplifying for our employee to do the job that they're
Yes.
doing at our hotel, and that gives them a sense of accomplishment rather than worrying about, am I doing it right or wrong.
I don't know, but some of the systems today, if you get through it, that is quite the accomplishment. So
I tell you what, if I can check in people today in one of the systems or some of the systems, I would feel that I have accomplished more than I have
right.
ever accomplished anything in my
I
entire
know.
career. It is that challenging and difficult at a time.
Yep.
Raj, let's also talk, you know, you mentioned before also about the benefit. We've been talking about the benefits for the guest, right? But let's talk about the labor issue, and let's talk about the hotel owner, right? Which is the space you come from, the franchisee. Talk to us a little bit about how the right kind of tech can make a real difference in terms of efficiencies and labor savings and the other benefits for owners.
Yeah,
So
if you could
what's
wrap in a little bit more about what you're talking about, turning that transactional into the experiential, that'd be awesome as well.
well, I think both components are extremely important. Owner may want to do a lot of things at their hotel.
Mm-hmm.
They can do it provided it is affordable
Mm-hmm.
or it has a return on investment. Uh, if that is going to produce additional revenue, if that can provide them an opportunity to entice guests into upgrading or extending their stay or charging for late checkout or charge for early check-in without any confrontation. And if technology gives that avenue, when you are clicking, we live in Amazon world. When you're clicking on Amazon, you are not negotiating with anyone, and your tendency is to spend a little more than you need to, or you're not going to be reluctant spending if that is going to give you what you want for a little more dollars.
Right. So
So
true.
upselling, high selling, retention of the guest. Second area that is
Right.
very challenging for our industry is collecting guest information. What do we lack? We don't have guest email addresses, or we don't have something that can allow us to connect with our guest for the future. Now, technology and directly letting guests feel that they are in control, I promise you they will give you more information than you ask for. And they will do it without
Agreed.
any hesitancy. So, keeping all of these factors in mind, owners are going to look for what can ultimately benefit two things in their area: guest experience and their bottom line.
Right.
And as long as technology companies continue to evolve and provide technology that is economical, affordable, and produce results either in cost savings or revenue generation, along with enhancing guest experience, are the technologies will win
Well,
over a period of time.
that's a big ask for traditionally where the hospitality has been, because the hotel industry has been collecting information about me for my entire career, yet I have yet to see any of them glean real active insights that they could activate about me to help me get those upsells. I'm still seeing an evolution towards generic. You could get an upgrade, but there's nothing that indicates they know me as a human being, and therefore finding ways to get me to spend more money, unlike companies like Amazon or unlike Netflix, which uses machine learning in such a clever way to get me to watch more hours of programming, for example. How do you see all of that maybe coming together, Raj?
That's a great question. I think one of the areas that we can learn and improve into is gathering guest habits, understanding guest needs, understanding what makes guests happy. We call it artificial intelligence, but in my opinion, it's not artificial,
Right.
because it is intelligence about Glenn Hausman, who comes to my hotel, and how he prefers to stay a night or two or three at any hotel, and what can I prepare myself with
Right.
so it can be personalized, and Glenn will walk away extremely happy. And that's the point I was bringing to you, that experiencing, having someone stay with you
Mhm.
and knowing what they like, what they don't like, what their touch points are, what their habits are. It is it's doable today. It is very much doable by having right technology and by interacting with the guest, or all guests, and collecting information. Now, you mentioned about the information that they have collected from you. Ironically, business travelers are somewhat easier to provide information. The people that are not regular travelers
Right.
or not a part of your frequency program
Right. And booking
collect.
through third parties.
Exactly. And those are the people. So cost elimination comes if somebody is booked through other channels or
Right.
merchant websites. You can bring them into your hotel, collect their information,
Right.
understand what they like to do, and provide them the access that they need, that they're going to get the best rates from you, but they're also going to get the facility to your liking. I understand you like extra pillow. I'm going to make sure you're going to get an extra pillow every time you come. I understand you like corner room. As simple as those
It
things
is.
sound, it personalizes one stay and it actually creates great level of loyalty.
Absolutely. The little details mean the most. And as I've said throughout my whole career, you know, in hospitality, 98, 99% of us do amazing, amazing stuff. It's that little bit over the top that really connects in a meaningful way with the customer. Michael, what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, I'm always curious to understand the investor perspective on all these things, right, Raj? And you know, you're active in the space. You are involved in a lot of different things. You know, where would a smart investor put their money these days? Who's looking to help urge these changes along in the industry? We talked about the PMS. We've talked about guest experience. What's the next frontier that brings us closer to the Amazonization of the hotel industry?
I think one of the costliest thing for us is booking guests at your hotel.
Right.
And ultimately, we have found that the brand websites can make it easier. However, guest or traveling person is just not booking hotel. They're booking a lot of other things too. So how a consolidation can happen within the stay, and how can you become a concierge that allow guests to book everything through you prior to their arrival, from their restaurants to their spa needs to their hotel needs to their transportation to the meeting rooms. All of these things can be done by hotel and technology in an efficient way by creating partnership with various industry. Now, it is a lot to ask for. Most of our hotels are smaller properties, and the owners are simply going to look for. So I think technology will also need to be divided into different segments,
Of
as we
course.
did luxury onto economy segment, and put it into the right bucket and let them choose what makes appropriate sense. As far as investment is concerned, I think I today would prefer to consider investing in three areas of technology in today's stage, and in fact, in foreseeable future. One, what can help our hotel owners and partners to resolve labor issue and still continue to provide
Mhm.
excellent guest services?
Right.
Two, as we are improving travel and the guests are coming back, how can I personalize their guest experience when they're coming to my hotel? And three, how can I consolidate my entire portfolio and identify the guest profile from all of my properties,
Mhm.
that I can create my own loyalty through the programming of the guest? And those are the areas. And also, the last but not least, how can hotels find a value proposition
Right.
in providing technology to the employees where it creates efficiency in faster cleaning, in faster check-in, in providing food with not a whole lot of labor? All of these technologies are inviting technologies, in my opinion. Then you can go into the next stage, 10 years, 15 years down the road, that every touch you have in the room that provides you information about the guest that's staying with you. How long did you watch TV?
Right.
What did you watch on TV?
Right.
How long were you in your bed? You could have sensors in the bed and say
Yeah.
that somebody was in the bed for X amount of time. How much time did you spend in the rooms? All of these things, information can be collected, and then you appropriately design and designate room matching the guest profile to that guest. That type of technology will actually create much
Right.
greater demand for the future.
Now, if you could find a technology that can diagnose why I'm up every 90 minutes in the middle of the night, then that is going to be one that I'd like to invest in. But on a more serious note, when you're thinking about the criteria and which to invest in, beyond what you were just saying, what are some of those intangibles and tangible things that you look for in an organization before putting money on the table? Beyond just being, hey, this is a good idea.
I think that's a great question. I have always come back to two simple conclusions. One is how robust is the technology? And two, who are the people behind that technology? Because ultimately, technology needs to evolve as well. Many of these companies we have seen historically become legacy companies because they have not evolved with technology and they have not adopted new technology. So the group of people that you want to invest with are the people that are not only creating top-notch technology today, but understand that as innovation and times change, they will need to change along with that and adapt to their technology in a way that they not only take care of today's needs, but they are prepared for tomorrow's needs also.
And that's always the old saw, Raj, in VC, right? It's the horse or it's the jockey, right? And you're saying it's both, right? You need
It is both. I think ultimately you're not going to ride a horse, that is not thoroughbred. Vice versa, you're not going to put a jockey on a horse who doesn't know how to gently handle that horse and bond with that horse. Otherwise, it's not a winning combination. It's not going to get you anywhere.
Right. Where do you see the role of brands in the future? Because the way I see it, they've done a great job with a lot of things, but just like everyone else, they've had struggled with technology. So, what is going to be their role in either supplying that technology, simplifying that technology, or acting as a gateway to help operators be more efficient with technology?
The brand that will adopt to technology at early stages and consistently improve upon it will be the brand of tomorrow.
Right. I
Uh,
see, because Raj, because I see a lot of brands out there now that are doing what you envisioned at the beginning, offering the entire product suite as part of the thing. But when you're dealing with these legacy brands, what's going to happen with them and their role in all of this?
And just to jump in there, and I don't mean to preempt you, Raj, but I mean, it's there's a lot of these smaller brands, right? You can look at a Citizen M, right?
Yeah,
You
right.
can look at these smaller brands that are agile and able to make moves. But what about the big
That's
companies?
what I'm thinking. I mean, brands like Lifehouse are creating themselves based on
Right,
the new
right.
paradigm, but we still have everyone else.
I think the notion of a lack of ability to turn big ship quickly is somewhat, in my opinion, outdated notion. Every now and then I watch some of these videos people post that how can you parallel park your car with new technology? How quickly can you? So the point I'm trying to make to you is this: that technology creates efficiency, technology creates loyalty, technology creates added revenue. So the brands, even though they may be legacy, at the
Mhm.
end of the day, brands are going to become more or less technology companies, believe it or
Yep.
not.
No, we believe it.
Yeah, they will have to adapt to technology, and the one who becomes tremendously uh, innovative about it are going to be the brands that becomes highly successful, in my opinion.
Right. I see a big challenge going forward with that happening because the brands have got to figure out how to put that together. But they also have a lot of income streams with trade shows and vendors coming on and giving people a lot of options as well. So it's a lot more complicated than a new startup company would be.
And and
Without a doubt, without a
Yeah.
doubt.
and these are, look, a lot of these are big public companies, right?
Yeah.
They've got to respond to shareholders.
Yeah.
Shareholders don't move as quickly or dramatically as startup founders would like. It's a complicated picture, right?
Without a doubt, I think you stated it correctly that most of the world today lives on a quarterly basis. I have
Yeah.
given this quarter's earning. What am I going to do next quarter?
Yep.
And with that becoming, as you heard just in the last couple of days, even the founder of Twitter said that I'm so happy this company is going private.
Hmm.
So the difference of dealing with public market and private market is so clear today
Right.
that it helps you innovate, and innovation may come slightly slower than we anticipate, but I think markets also are going to recognize that the company that adopts the technology are going to be the company that will be successful for a long time to come. So you're going to see that. I think you already see that as a change, because if you
Yep.
look at the loyalty program and the website and mobile check-in and mobile keys, all of these things are received and perceived to be top-notch technology by the market.
Hmm.
And why are these things top notch? Because at the end of the day, that's building loyalty. And all of a sudden we have companies and brands that produce 50, 60, 70% of the business at hotel or
That's right.
hotels from their loyalty guests. So that creates value. What's the value for a brand? Brand has a value in three things. One, the name that you have. Two, the loyalty program. Three, that you have. And three, the resources that you're providing to your franchisee to build in on that name and to build on that loyalty program. And that will be driven by technology going forward into the future.
Excellent. Michael?
Raj, let's, having taken it to those stratospheric levels with public markets, let's personalize it for a minute. On the intro, I was telling Glenn a little bit about our history together over 25 years. Personal observation that Raj Trivedi is having a whole lot more fun playing around with startup companies, technology, investing in innovation than I've seen you have in an awful long time. How does it feel out there right now to you? What does the future hold for Raj Trivedi in helping remake the industry?
I think I'm having fun. I can tell you that for sure. And as I have realized, in fact, since I have stepped away from the corporate responsibility, and as I have been doing this evaluations, it's become very clear to me that technology is going to become the linchpin of tomorrow's success. And the company and people that adopt to technology, company and people that are committed to innovation in technology are going to make difference. The second thing that I have noticed, as I mentioned earlier, that because of various things and parameters in place, technology adaptation in hospitality is still in early phases. And we have a lot of room and a lot of areas that we haven't even thought about that we can incorporate going forward in technology. Three, margins are shrinking. And I believe that technology is among the innovation that will provide us to hopefully bring back some of those lost margins back for the owners. We don't want to lose these high profile investors that have built hotels in all segments going forward into the future. So when I look at overall financial viability of our industry, I feel technology is going to become the linchpin. And that's one of the reasons I decided to not only focus in real estate, but along with that, focus on technology side on a very strong basis. And I'll tell you this, more every day I spend, more I learn about it. And I see that there is a tremendous need of technology from independent hotel to luxury hotel in different facets.
A visionary from day one. Raj, it's been a long journey since Howard Johnson.
I tell you what, I'm getting older faster than I want to. But yes, experience is an amazing thing. What I know today, I wish I had known 25, 30 years ago. Life would be different. But it is invaluable to go through the journey of the last 30 years. Otherwise, I would not have known what I know today. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, Raj, over this whole career, is there one particular leap forward with technology that you've seen that surprised you, or maybe it's just been a series of small iterations that you didn't even think about as it's happening, but you look back over time and go, "Oh, wow."
So we were La Quinta. When I was at La Quinta, we were one of the early adopters of technology. We went with the new PMS system. Then the latest technology, we went with the new CRS system. We went in the clouds as one of the first brands that we had. And we were one of the first brands that actually was looking for virtual concierge concept. And we tried that for years and years and never came to fruition. And then a young man walked into my office while I was working, and I'm talking about two separate technologies here. And a young man walked into my office, I'm talking in maybe 10 years ago, and showed me this new PMS system on iPad that you can do everything that you need to. And I would never forget. Adi Thigarajan, who was the guy I'm talking about, walked into my office and I said, young man, your technology is going to be very successful. And so there are good spurs that enlightens you, but there's still a lot of room to go forward. So there have been some moments that I'm like, wow, this can be done, you know.
Adi, now the founder and CEO of a company called Hotel Key, right? Which
Yes,
is
that is correct.
blazing.
And that's the technology I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing, amazing.
Great. Raj Trivedi, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. This has been really educational and inspirational.
My pleasure.
Raj, as always, stay well.
Thank you.
So, Michael, a really fascinating conversation. I love getting the chance to talk to him, and I love getting to talk to those really big thinkers we have in our business. And I think what I'm taking away from this whole conversation is when you're thinking about developing hospitality technologies, it has to improve the customer experience, turn that transactional into the experiential, while simultaneously making it easier for hoteliers to reach profitability, right?
I think that's right. And, you know, I hope that there were a few startup founders in their garages listening today, because Raj just gave you the Bible for how to go out and land an investment that turns your company into a comer and a change agent in the hotel industry, right? There's a lot of them out there. A lot of them are going to survive. A lot of them are not. But sometimes the old wise heads know just the path.
That's right. Absolutely right. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of our show. We're going to be releasing these twice per month as part of our continuing 12-episode limited series. You can, of course, if you're watching this, find it on the No Vacancy News Network. If you want to download audio version, if you're downloading the audio version, check out novacancynews.com and watch the video version there. So for Michael Frankel and Glenn Hausman, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Get some sleep, Glenn.